I don't really think about love that often, mostly on account of me getting no bitches, but when I do, it's likely through the lens of a few standout depictions I've experienced in media. It's through the aesthetic youth of Your Name, the sarcastic jibing of When Harry Met Sally, the hazy infatuation of Call of the Night, the misguided desire of 500 Days of Summer, the fantastical femininity of Howl's Moving Castle, the romanticized longing of Leve's voice, the warm comfort of Potsu's beats, or the quiet resignation of Past Lives characters. Most recently, however, it's through Dandadan. Yes, that Dandadan, the Shonen Dandadan, the one we've started calling the manga equivalent of regular show. A story so cracked out, so damn Looney Tunes, that its entire narrative hinges on a boy getting fleeced for both his dick and balls, getting both his shaft and gonad spirited away from him. The upcoming G-Kids produced, Science Saru juiced, could be anime of the year Dandadan. And under all that fanfare, I'm here discussing the love affair I have with its simple romance. If that's not a sign that I'm a giant sniveling rose-colored glasses wearing pussy, I don't know what is. Dandadan's the talk of the town, and for good reason. You've probably heard about its devilishly ridiculous scenarios, or its wickedly consistent art. You've probably heard how its debut shot to the top of Jump Plus's rankings, or how its author assisted and was mentored by Tatsuki Fujimoto. And you may even be privy to the fact that the average chapter sees the main cast throwing mecha hands with Godzilla, or fighting fucking Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And while I'm certainly enamored with all those aspects of it, those act as like the looks, you know? The nice rack and bodacious booty, the chiseled abs and jawline that attract you to Dandadan from the outside. But like any real man, I'm personality above everything. And what makes this the belle of the ball to me is just how tender, honest, and endearing its central romance is. So I want to get a little surgical today, grab a scalpel, cut deep, and get down and dirty into Dandadan's warm beating heart, and maybe be a little out of pocket while doing it. Welcome lovers one and all, I'm Ibi792, and walk hand in hand with me as I announce my affection for the greatest romance story being told in shonen today. Okay, I just asserted that I'm a personality man, and I still stand by that, don't get it twisted. But let's keep it a buck, gang. We visual learners. So let's take a gander at some of Dandadan's, more tantalizing assets, and more superficial aspects before we start full on surrendering our hearts. Dandadan centers around two teenagers, who should be known as Dickhead 1 and Dickhead 2, but for simplicity's sake, we'll refer to them as Momo and Okarun. Momo is a cunt, but a dignified one, the chill kind we've all known in our lives, who's good to the one she loves, minds her own damn business, and just so happens to believe that ghosts, ghouls, and other paranormal nasties linger among us. Okarun is a bit of a sherm. Alas, no dignity for him, he's just a sherm. The kind we've all either been or ignored in our lives. The kind whose honest intentions are often overshadowed by his chronic lack of swag, and who just so happens to believe that aliens, UFOs, and other interplanetary interlopers survey us from above. Each of them thinks the other is a total dingus for their belief, so they hold a wager to head to areas with high levels of rumored activity and once and for all discover what truly lurks in the recesses of our world. Aliens or spirits. But of course, they're both fucking right. And Okarun finds himself facing down a demented, geriatric, ghost demon turbo granny who says,
"I'll let you suckle my tits if you let me gobble your soul."
And of course, has the ability to run at the speed of sound. Meanwhile, Momo finds herself face to face with some Ben Shapiro looking ass aliens, whose species only has males. So they brandish these PS5 Pros for penises, and I kid you not, please stay with me here. Plan to gangbang this girl in order to restore emotion and evolution to their species. Luckily, that remains a failed gangbang because Okarun pulls up, now fused with Turbo Granny, and like any real eater, starts gobbling straight cock, slurping up all the Penis 5 pros, starting a conflict for control of the boy's human schlong. One that culminates as Momo awakens to her powers of psychokinesis, blowing up the alien ship and narrowly escaping the clutches of the supernatural with Okarun. Except not really, because Turbo Granny has managed to spirit away Okarun's entire dick and balls, holding them hostage, just to goad the two into a later confrontation where they'll have to race to get them back. And that is the end of chapter 1. I'm sure you can tell, but in case you're a little slow on the uptake, let me warn you now. Dandadan is a bit freaky. This series is Basil Ball's bizarre, stidity-dum strange. But I swear, that's in a good way. You see, Dandadan is top to bottom about exhibiting a love for things. Specifically, sci-fi, the occult, battle shonen, and of course, ushy-gushy touch-my-tushy romance. It's a shrine in series form. It's harebrained coupling of those elements allowing for the perfect blended beverage. You got yourself the goddamn Baja Blast of Shonen Jump. Something that'll electrify your taste buds while simultaneously smacking you in the brain. It may come off as disorienting at first, but that quickly becomes exhilarating as you're pelted with idea after idea after idea. One second, you'll watch the cast argue over the most optimal way to telepathically configure their house into a giant kitten, and the next you're watching an extraterrestrial reimagining of the Vietnam War. One chapter will involve skinny dipping with the Loch Ness Monster, and the next will be a high-speed car chase conducted by a wagon-bound emo band and a living fucking building. One arc will be a brief yet poignant meditation on grief and motherhood, while another will last ages, have a full-on alien invasion and feature... Wait. Is that the nigga that reflects physical? Take your ass to a Barnes & Noble and pick up any volume of Dandadan, flip to a random page. I promise you will not be bored. That's how often it keeps the audience on its toes. And how can you not begin to resonate with that? That willingness to bounce between ideas, paired with the grace to pull it off well, molds your palate to Dandadan's wackiness till you just can't get enough of it. I mean, come on, this kid has to retrieve the family jewels. I know you felt that in your soul. That's a hook only rivaled by Denji trying to feel on some boobies. This brings us back full circle to that regular show comparison from earlier. If you're a real OG, you're a Cartoon Network baby. So you know Gumball and Adventure Time regular show, that was our bag. Those shows took the uninhibited, spastastic imagination of a kid and tailored that energy into bite-sized plots and character arcs. But what makes the regular show comparison in particular so apt is that tendency to pair the simplest, most relatable aspects of the human experience with the stupidest idea you've ever heard in your life. The author had to be doing whippets, huffing gallons of Gaijin Galaxy gas at the office with some of these concepts. And yet there's always petty little woes, simple little arguments, and pretty nights chatting shit around the dinner table to keep things grounded. It always ends up feeling like these characters are slumming it through the day to day, just trying to ball through the bullshit and taking whatever laughs they can get like the rest of us. And I really appreciate that sincerity. It also doesn't hurt that they have a ridiculous amount of swag. Swag, swag, swag. I know, every time I talk about the aesthetics of a series, I prove that I'm a little piggy coming to eat from my trough. This is like saying I want keys jingled in my face. But as a fresh young motherfucker myself, I gotta acknowledge when something has certain levels of sauce and drip that make me wanna give the screen slow strokes. My brain cells were programmed to appreciate fit checks and pretty colors. I do not care. Dandadan has swag in spades, and I'm about to slobber all over this microphone telling you about it. This is clearly an author that understands that no self-respecting reader wants to see dusty ass fits on a cast. Okarun got that Kevin Ewan perm, keeping it nonchalant with the school uniform, but busting out straight cryotherapy coldness when it's time to walk someone down. Momo's always got that shit on, whether she's sporting the bread and butter pink cardigan fitted skirt combo, accentuated by the big rock earrings, the fuzzy socks, the choker, the oversized bow tie with the loafers on feet, or any of her alternate fits. Aira and Jiji stay stunting, looking like they got the wardrobes of damn members of New Jeans and BTS. And Kenta looks like the type of motherfucker to use Opera GX. But chill on, bro, he's still low-key wavy though. And Lord have mercy, it even features... Damn! The things I would do for a shot at that. Shit would have me groaning like Shannon Sharp. And you better bet your succulent little booty cheeks that swag permeates every level of the art. The paneling, the choreography, the color spreads, the jokes, the covers, the back backgrounds. Dude, look at this. This is a weekly manga. Yukinobu Tatsu is putting up LeBron numbers every week like it's nobody's business. But where he's truly goated, truly the MVP, where he truly lit a flame in me and ignited the passion that made this my new paramour, was with that romance subplot. Look, like a historian, I only deal in facts, so let's keep it a bean. Shonen authors are good for two things: drawing fights and drawing bad bitches. But when it comes to actually developing those bad bitches, or even just making them relevant, or God forbid, trying to construct a semblance of a good romance plot with said bad bitches, they be on some foo-foo bullshit. Deku and Uraraka, foo-foo bullshit. Literally everything about 7 deadly sins. Foo-foo bullshit. Whatever in God's good name Kishimoto was cooking with Sakura. Class, say it with me now. Foo-foo bullshit. Shout out Fujimoto though, he be cooking. But I give shonen authors grace on this for the most part because it's not really in their job description. Like I said, buddy, you good for two things: put the fries in the bag. But that's what makes Dandadan so damn scrumptious. You expect to just find the fries in your Happy Meal, but you end up with a quarter pounder, a shake, some damn Caniac tenders on the side, and a Hello Kitty collab toy to boot. Dandadan is able to serve up everything shonen usually has to offer to a ludicrous degree. Dope fights, insane art, sick powers, and concepts, but also makes it nutritious. Also takes care to dish out a top-tier romance story with those usual offerings. And that's not by accident. I had the pleasure of seeing 3 episodes of Dandadan pre-screened in theaters with my buddies. And before the show started, they played an exclusive interview with the cast, crew, and most importantly, the main man himself, Yukinobu Tatsu. And he revealed some super sick info regarding the series' goals and inspirations. One really interesting tidbit he doled out had to do with how he became proficient at writing romance subplots. Tatsu revealed that as the series was being developed, he went to romance boot camp. His editors tasked him with reading hundreds of chapters, dozens of volumes of popular romance manga, prominently by female authors. And it's through that study that he came to understand the bells and whistles that really make a romance shine. And all that hard work really pays off. What makes this romance feel so real to me is that as individuals, Momo and Okarun both kinda suck. They're stubborn, uncompromising, and flagrantly opinionated. So much so that half their interactions result in some sort of argument. But that's exactly it. The secret to why they're so right for each other lies in that conflict. Both of these characters are so starkly themselves that when they come together, they end up pushing up against one another. All the barbs and thorns in their personalities clashing. Not because they're vicious or don't care, but because they're passionate. It's through challenging each other, by dueling perspectives, that they stretch each other's minds a bit and allow for reciprocal growth. The problem plaguing so many shonen romance stories is that one person in the relationship feels like a husk, an afterthought, rather than an individual with ideals and dreams. They exist solely to support whatever aspirations or goals MC-kun has.
Oh, Lord Deku, you're so cool. You're so aura. Please let me cross the face with those wonderful balls.
It's like those fake-ass lovey-dovey, we're so perfect couples that make you want to throw up and cosplay as A-Train you see on the gram. Being in a relationship shouldn't make two people assimilate into a formless blob of pet names and love language affirmations. It should be symbiotic. All the chillest couples I know bicker and spar. I love me a woman who banters, because maintaining your individuality and yet still coming together to make a cohesive whole, that's a beautiful thing. Getting to watch Momo and Okarun develop individually and consequently grow more compatible as a pairing feels like watching your dog finally link with shorty he swore he didn't have a crush on. The clumsiness and empathy of it all acting as the perfect supplement to the outlandish bullshit that makes up its plot and story structure. If I'm not fighting Godzilla with my bitch, I don't want her! I think this anecdote sums it up best. In chapter 78, titled A Pulse-Pounding Night, Momo is being plagued by a spirit. She's told she needs to make it through the night without leaving her room in order to dispel it. So she tucks in for bed. But of course, it's not that simple. Her sleep is interrupted by Okarun's voice outside her door, whispering sweet nothings, saying things to her she wants to hear deep down. And he's ready to confess more, but there's one stipulation. He wants to do it face to face. He wants her to open the door. Obviously, this is a farce, but hey dog, hormones are high. Infatuation makes you dumb. She gets out of bed, tiptoes across the room, and nearly opens the door. But then, one slip-up, one discordant little detail tells her it's not him. And it's the way he says her name. And dog, that's so cute. That's the kind of love Dandadan puts on display, the kind that involves relishing in every autistic little detail of each other because you can't help it. The type of love that's got you curling your toes, kicking your feet, and blushing despite yourself. And that to me is downright adorable. I just can't wait to see that spirit translated to the screen. Those interviews I mentioned earlier really gave me a lot of faith in Dandadan as an adaptation. I always knew Science Star were gonna cook. Their previous works such as Devilman Crybaby have some of the most fluid, interesting, and innovative animation being put out for anime today. But seeing the director, Fuga Yamashiro, come out with not only a fly-ass fit, but a fly-ass approach to putting the series to screen, let me know that this is gonna be, as Usher so eloquently put it, one of them ones. Yamashiro discussed the importance of preserving the flavor of the manga, and the lengths the team went to meet that goal. And that hard work is so evident. Everything I saw conveyed the vibe and intent of the original work, without relying on it as a crutch. They utilized lighting, expressions, color, and of course, drop-dead gorgeous animation to elevate the manga for the screen in a way far too few works get. This is the treatment that Trigger gave to Dungeon Meshi, the treatment Cloverworks gave to Frieren, albeit with a much freakier vibe, but with the same level of love and care. I can't wait to see what they have in store for some of the series' later, more iconic scenes and scenarios, because if they keep this up, I imagine this will be one for the history books. Every time you need me, come through.
I've named this one JPEG.
Homie, comrade, friend. We all know how these hype cycles go. It's an old song and dance, and maybe you're not quite convinced you should take part in the waltz. If you're tapped in, you've already heard enough people yab your ear off about this series. It's cool to start a seasonal fling. Bag a new boo when the heat is high. And I'm not trying to pile on for the sake of it, but I couldn't help but lavish it with some affection for an aspect that doesn't get sold enough. Did you hear it here first? Fuck out of here, of course not. But maybe this will contextualize it a bit better for the hopeless romantics out there. So you still gotta give old Uncle Ibi some credit for putting you on. If you're a sentimental little goober like moi, I think this one's gonna sweep you off your feet. Dandadan may flirt with many concepts, but its main message to me is simple. Love is found in weird places. Whether that be romantic or not, platonic, familial, material, you're never quite sure who or what will steal your heart next. What matters is not letting that weirdness put you off. What matters is not being so high-minded that you miss the forest for the trees. What matters is indulging in a bit of that nasty. We all a bit peculiar. We all harbor high amounts of freak. What harm could come from letting someone try to match it? So considering we're long overdue for a new darling shonen, considering the heart on offer, and considering I still don't have any bitches on the horizon, I imagine I'll stay smitten, gazing blissfully through Dandadan's interpretation of love for a long time to come. Whoa, hey, didn't see you there. You come here often? Well, you should if you want more sexy little vids like this. Liking the video, commenting, and subscribing will gain you a lot of favor with possible suitors, and of course, with me. I'm also on Gram and Twitter if you want to keep up, and if I really tickle your fancy, you can join this irresistible bunch of studs over on the Patreon. What's going on, dog? How's life treating ya? I hope it's positively valiant. I'm kind of bad, to be honest. It's nothing crazy, I'm just underwhelmed with life right now. I've been striking out with the ladies, I've been cheating too much at school, and now this hurricane's coming to give me back shots. I feel like I'm in need of a development in my life, and I have some ideas, but I'm not quite sure which avenues to explore. Maybe I should just start throwing shit at the wall. Whatever the case, it hasn't been all bad. Bleach is back, ReZero, Dandadan is out, Transformers 1 is great, Look Back is magnificent, Megaopolis exists. I'm playing a new 2D Zelda, man. What was I bitching about? I already forgot. We chillin'. Fall's coming up once again, dog, and I can't wait. I thrive when autumn comes around, at least that's what I tell myself, and I'm hoping to make the most out of this one. Not sure where we go from here video-wise, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Seriously. Make sure you keep yourself cozy, charming, and creative. You're capable of a lot, motherfucker. Don't forget it. Get some ambition. Why you bored? And yeah, you know, I mean, come on, do I even have to say it? It's super predictable, but have yourselves a damn good one. Mwah, 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 mwah.